जय श्री माता जी। हम सब श्री माता जी के श्री चरणों पर नतमस्तक होकर प्रणाम करेंगे और बंधन लेंगे। Let's bow down at Shri Mataji's lotus feet and take bandhan. Shri Mahamantra and Shri Ganesh Mantra. हम हमारा दाहिना हाथ धरती माँ पर रखेंगे और बायां हाथ श्री माता जी की ओर। हमारा पूरा चित्त हमारी इड़ा नाड़ी पर। प्रार्थना करेंगे, परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, कृपा कर हमारी ईड़ा नाड़ी को संतुलित कीजिए और हमें शुद्ध इच्छा शक्ति प्रदान कीजिए। We will keep our right hand on Mother Earth and our left hand towards Shri Mataji. Keep our attention on Ida Nadi and pray to Shri Mataji. Shri Mataji, please clear our Ida Nadi and grant us pure desire. अब हम हमारा दाहिना हाथ श्री माताजी की ओर करेंगे और बायां हाथ आकाश की ओर। पूरा चित्त पिंगला नाड़ी पर रखेंगे और प्रार्थना करेंगे, परम पूज्य श्री माताजी, कृपा कर हमारी पिंगला नाड़ी को शुद्ध कर हमें शुद्ध कार्य शक्ति प्रदान कीजिए। Now we will keep our right hand towards Shri Mataji and our left hand towards the ether. Keep our attention on Pingla Nadi and pray to Shri Mataji. Shri Mataji, please clear our Pingla Nadi and balance our right channel. दोनों हाथ श्री माताजी की ओर करेंगे, चित्त को सहज प्यार पे रखेंगे और प्रार्थना करेंगे, परम पूज्य श्री माताजी, कृपा कर हमें पूर्ण संतुलन प्रदान कीजिए और हमें निर्विचार स्थिति में लाइए। We will now place both the hands towards Shri Mataji and turn our attention to Sahasrara and pray to Shri Mataji. Shri Mataji, please give us complete balance and bring us into a thoughtless state of mind. इसी ध्यान की स्थिति में अब हम श्रीमाता जी की अमृतवाणी सुनेंगे और इसके बाद थोड़ी देर ध्यान करेंगे. We will continue to be in this meditative state and listen to Srimati ji speak.
Think of Sir Arthur Avalon called The Serpent Power. Have you read it?
Have you read Sir Arthur
Ah,
Avalon's The Serpent Power?
I've read it, Baba. I don't know what to say. I don't know how he wrote. I mean, there's no honesty about it. Really, I tell you. There are so many books. I've seen such a big books written. I was surprised how could you write such books without knowing anything. Anything whatsoever. It's so confused, contradictory, all that. But how could I always had a great admiration for Western people that they were honest. Whether they did wrong or they were thieves or anything, they were honest about it. But this fellow, I don't know from where did he get such courage to write about Kundalini without knowing a word about it. Horrible. Absolutely. All these books, so many, like this Gopi Krishna's book I read, is like a person coming from a village and putting his hands into the plug and saying that I got a shock. He doesn't know anything. They're so nine, not only nine, but in his case, I think he's not entitled. He is not suitable. You have to be a very holy person to do that. You have to be compassionate. You have to be love. You have to be pure. It's all money-making propositions, I think. Write about Kundalini because it is unknown. It's just money-making propositions. Everything is a money-making proposition these days. In the name of God, in the name of religion, in the name of Kundalini, in the name of all that is holy, because there is no authority that will catch you. And poor people who are seekers, who are true seekers, who are innocent, who are simple, are caught by that. If you have read too many books, I'll have a problem with you. I must tell you. First of all, you have to throw all these books in the sea. Because all the books are in your head and you are lost. Yourself is lost. I really tell you, it's very true. This one is standing there with the same thing. He gave me such a bad time for some time. And he was shaking and he had all sorts of things happening to him when he first came to me. And he had read all the books from A to Z, from this side to this side, and this side to this side. There's no book which he left. I said, now at least leave one book for me to read.
Is there a difference between the awakening and the realization?
Yes, very good question. There is a difference between awakening and realization. It's true. It awakens, it passes. You can see with your naked eye. Many people, when there is obstruction, you can see. It passes through various chakras, you can see. In some people, it is so slow moving. Otherwise, it takes just a split of a second. But if there is obstruction, you can see it. And the awakening has taken place. But the breaking of the Sahasrara is the realization where you get cool breeze in the hand. If you don't get cool breeze in the hand, at least you must get cool breeze here, minimum. Sometimes this center is very bad in many people. Then you don't feel it in the hand, but you must feel it here. But still, it's just the beginning. Just determination, like Christ has said, that some seeds fell on here and some seeds fell there. It happens like that. So awakening is not the end of it, it's just the beginning. It has started. And then realization is established. First, when the Kundalini goes over this chakra, you get a state called thoughtless awareness, where there's no thought in the mind. It's very easy to get. This is the center of Christ. It goes above that. When it passes through all these centers of Moses and Abraham and all that, it passes through the center of Christ and it passes through this Brahma and this alternate moon. When you get your baptism, then you feel the full breeze in hand. But it may be sucked back into the places where there's a problem. Because with me I see people get it just right back. It flows like a great river in flood. It happens. But then sometimes it comes back. But once it is awakened, we have to learn how to establish it. It's a very good question, my child. We have to do. Yes?
There's one school of thought regarding enlightenment that advocates, or doesn't advocate, it says that enlightenment can be a static process. This is what you've described as a dynamic process.
The school of thought describes enlightenment as a static process. What you've described is a dynamic process.
Yes, it is not static. How can that be? It's a living process. You see, you become collectively conscious. You become that. You see, you become really dynamic because your awareness has a new dimension. You become collectively conscious. You start feeling another personality. You start feeling yourself. You start getting the power how to raise the Kundalini. You don't know how many powers you get. It's like this, that you have, say, a big, huge chest. Now, if I say there is music here, song here, drama here, we say, well, we can't see anything. You bring a television and put it to the mains. You see the mirror. That's what you are. You are really dynamically. Dynamic is one word, there's no word to describe how you are made. It's so beautifully done. Once you are put to the mains, all your power starts flowing. There's no end to it. It's so miraculous, so wonderful. I wish you could see one of my photographs that they have taken, which you will not be able to explain. I think next time I'll bring it along. You become so dynamic. A person, if you have seen my book, Advent, is a person, a very ordinary person. He was a gardener. He got his realization. And he had never handled a camera, or he did not know how to handle cameras. He once took a camera and took my photograph. And that is such a wonderful photographic history. And since then he discovered he can take photographs very well, he can paint very well, he can sing very well, and you become really so dynamic and inexhaustible. Oh, producing. But still, human beings as they are get caught up with the ego, caught up with the super ego, so you must know how to get rid of it. And I must say, Mohammed Sahib is the one who has told us lots of things, lots of secrets, how to get rid of these things. They are all have added to the knowledge of Sahaja Yoga to such an extent that really we should have gratitude for all of them.
What is the difference between the mind or consciousness and the spirit? And is it the spirit or the consciousness which is enlightened?
This subject I'll be discussing later on at length, all right? But the spirit is the one that resides in the heart, which is the reflection of God Almighty. By knowing the spirit, only you become collectively conscious, and that's why you know the universal being, which is God. This is in simple answer. And the other is mind, is that black thing you see there. Is the mind, which is the conditioned stuff called as super ego. And the intellect is the one that is on this side, is the ego, Mr. Ego. And so it's all limited stuff within ourselves. So wisdom is very different, and wisdom is in the center of it. That's a very different thing. So all these things I'll be explaining later on when I'll be discussing all these points, all right?
Could you just repeat what you were saying before about the thumb?
Yeah.
Couldn't hear it properly.
You see, these fingers, as you see there, you have seen them clearly, are suggestive of the centers that are within us. Now, this finger, if you see the thumb, has got the same color as that. So when you find a burning on your fingers, on the thumbs, or you find numbness is even bad, because numbness is a suggestion of death, or say towards death, or thinking of death, all these things. Like I've seen people from Sweden, young people, they all have numb fingers. When I felt them, I said, what are you doing? Young people. They said, we are planning how to commit suicide. This is the result of their affluence. Just look at that. Young people from 70 to 21 are just planning how to commit suicide. And there's a competition between the Swiss and the Swedish. So, and these days, Swiss are higher. Now, this finger, this thumb, is responsible for this set. If you have a problem in your liver, you feel this, plus this. Now, this is it. You can see that. Now, I think you have got the book. Please buy the book from these people, which is, of course, is at a very nominal price, whatever they have taken for printing, and go through it and see for yourself what it is. All right?
How come, after so many prophets, after so many years of history, and also civilizations prehistory, that they wrote in such prose and such poetry that the truth is so obscure that it's hard to understand and hasn't really come through in force?
Well, after so many prophets that have been writing so much, why is it that it's all been so hidden and the truth has been very difficult to see?
So it is very difficult. Human beings are really, I don't know what to call them, because they never understand, you know, what Christ, they didn't allow me to live for 4 years. I mean, what to do? Abraham, Moses, you know what they did to them. All the prophets, what you did to them. We have so many good gurus in India, and in Rangoon I know one very good one, and also in England I know one, but they are hiding. They don't want to fix you. I've told them, I asked one of them to go to America with big coaxing, everything. I paid his money. I said, please go and work because I cannot go to America. Within 3 days he ran away from New York and came back and said, Mother, I can't do this. They do not want their spirit. They want other things. They want money, they want this, they want that. You see, they have never understood before, they were never recognized before. That's why Christ has said one thing, that I will forgive you anything that you have done against me, but against the Holy Ghost, nothing will be forgiven, because you will know what is the Holy Ghost is. Recognition is the most difficult thing for the ego. You see, there was a lady today, she said, why should you do it? I said, I'll be very happy if you can do it. Imagine, I'm a happily married woman, I've got my children and grandchildren. If somebody could do it, I'll be very happy. Why don't you do it? Why do you feel your ego challenged? You better do it. I don't know anything, many things I don't know. Like, I can drive, I cannot do many things, but I don't feel bad about it. Now I know this job. If I'm doing it free, what's the harm? Now, if you can do it, I'll be very happy to retire. She said, I don't know. Then I said, let me do it. They feel hurt, you know, that I have to. But you can do it yourself, but first of all, get enlightened. If the mother knows how to cook, let her cook. It's a terrible job. Every night you sleep at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, get up about 4 o'clock, work like a, I don't know what. And in the end, you find people challenging you, why should you do it? Oh, there are all kinds of people in England. Somebody asked me, why don't you remove the poverty of India? Just imagine. I said, no, I'm not here to remove poverty or anything. I'm here to give self-realization. I said, but I'm sorry, why do you ask such a question to me? Because who is responsible for our poverty in India? Who is? I shouldn't say that. I'm sitting here in England on your soil. Who is responsible for the poverty of our India? Such a question you are asking me, you please answer. 300 years they ruled us. And now he's teaching me that I should go and remove the poverty of India. Just think of it. The second question comes up. A great learned man, you see. He says that, what about your population problem? Why don't you solve this? I said, I'm sorry, you are also responsible for that. He said, how? How do we increase your population? I said, you do. He said, how? I said, very simple. In this country of yours, this great country of yours, every week 2 children are killed by the parents. Legitimate children are killed by the parents. Now, which fool would like to take part in this country of yours? We have to bear the loss because you don't have good parents, good mothers. Mothers are becoming liberated, husbands are becoming abandoned. Now, who would like to take birth? And you are having minus growth. So who should bear the growth? Because last judgment has started, people are taking their birth. We have to bear the load in India, and you are blaming us for overpopulation. What should they do? It's a fact. I tell you, it's a fact. If you don't have good families, if you don't have love, you don't have good homes, why should children be born to you? Will you be born to a family where the father is a drunkard and mother is, what do you call it, liberated? Why should such people produce children? I don't understand. They don't. In Germany, they pay so much for a woman to produce a child, but they don't want to produce. They are funny ideas. And in India, if a woman doesn't get a child, she goes to all the holy places, to all the saints, and she do everything to get a child. See the difference. So who is responsible for our overpopulation? You please tell me. So prophets are not responsible. They're human beings. They never discipline. To me also, I don't know how many of you are really going to settle down. But I'll see to it. I'm quite sure. I've learned lots of things in my last life, and I'm quite an expert. Yes?
Excuse me, can you tell me with some enlightenment into the fact that a child in a home might be 18
I'll be able to tell you, I'm sure. If I see the child, I'll see. Because it's a very, you see, hypothetical case you are giving me. I would like to see the child. Not I'm saying you get cancer because you lead a bad life. Not at all. Sometimes very good people get it. They get affected by it. Say there's a mother who's very strict. Don't do this, don't do that. Why don't you get up early in the morning? This, that. All the time speaks of the child. The child doesn't know what to do. Disciplining, see. And then somebody comes in the house and goes, why did you say like that? Why did you spill the thing? Why this carpet is more important than the child? The sofa set is more important than the child. Then the child gets upset. It's very important. The child is not given proper attention, neither proper dignity. He's treated just like somebody who's a nuisance. Then the child, such a child can't get blood cancer. If the mother is extremely strict, and some children are slow, so let them be slow. Some children get up early in the morning, some get up a little late. Why make them such good citizens from their child? As it is, you are very great good citizens. Let the children play. Let them enjoy themselves, and you enjoy them. Let them live like flowers. We don't. We try to discipline them. And this disciplining is responsible for the teenage problem in all these countries.
This is detected at the age of 4 months, where the child has really just been lying in a crib. With no drama around it at all.
Hello, they see my child. I know you are upset about it. But if I see the case, if I had seen the case, then I would have answered all your questions. It's very hypothetical, I'm saying. It could be something like that. I mean, people can detect, they cannot cure. There are cases like that, many cases. There are some great souls are born on this earth, they take the load of others and die. Also it's possible. There can be anything. If I had seen the child, I would have told you. But just now, the patient is not before me, so hypothetical, you understand that, you see. But if I had seen the child, I would have told you. You'll be amazed now. Recently, somebody showed me a photograph of child. He's a born realized. He's such a mature child. And his mother is taking a divorce. And the father is an alcoholic. What will this poor child do? Just think of it. He is a born realized child. Or he may take the load of his parents and may something happen to him. He may. It happens to many children I've seen. They take the load of their parents. Especially if the parents are quarreling all the time. The children take the load. That's why they go mad. It happens. You see, anything can happen to them. There are viruses in the thing. Then virus is another kind of a possession. There are many things. You cannot blame God for that. I know your worry is all right, but you do not know who was in the house, how it happened. Cannot say. You see, can be some sort of a thing. All right? If you tell me the whole case, privately, I will tell you what was the case. All right?
How does the Kundalini become awake?
How does Kundalini become awakened?
That's it. That's what I'm going to do. That's a $1 million question. I'm never saying that because of your wrongdoings or anything, that these things have not done. It can be any reason, but some of the reasons are these. You see, a person can die of starvation because of the social problem. Somebody can die of something. There can be something, you put the child in the say sun, he can get a sunstroke. If you put him in the bowl, he may die. Or anything can happen. Not that you all have to die, also, that's also definite. But the diseases, it's another way of logic. It's the why you get certain diseases is not entirely this. There are other reasons also. But mostly these are the reasons. See, this is a logical way of looking at things. Not that you are bad people, not at all. On the contrary, you are people whom God loves very much. But you must know, if you make a mistake, say if you even put hot water on your hand, it will burn. It has a capacity to burn, it will burn your hand. In the same way, if you make some mistakes unknowingly because of your naive understanding of a subject, it will happen. It happens like that, many a times.
What happens if one of the chakras are damaged by accident, if you have a severe accident of some sort and a spinal injury takes place? Can the enlightenment still take
It
place?
has a problem if it is damaged, but still I have seen it Sahaja Yoga, we have people who were spastic and who had get backbones, who had broken backbones. They became straight and they started. Yesterday only we had a case like that. There was a gentleman who used to use a stick when he walked from childhood. He was limping. He could not walk without a support. Now he walks without a support. He doesn't drag his leg. He can stand on his leg. So it can happen still. So even if it is damaged, we shouldn't worry. We have to work it out. Alright? Krishna has said, Karmanevadikaste Harishu Makadachi. Means you have to do the job. You have to work it out. Don't worry about the fruits. That's my attitude is, if I do not do it, you are not going to hit me hard. If I cannot do it, I just cannot do it. I'm not here selling anything, nor have I taken anything from you. I'll try and try and try. That's all I can say. Alright? It's quite fair. What else?
Do you use a different healing process for different illnesses, or is it the same process?
Do you use a different healing process for different illnesses, or is it the same process?
No, Kundalini awakening is the basic thing, alright? But it passes through various chakras. And how to awaken various chakras and deities, we have to tell you how to do it. And that's what you have to learn. And certain things like vibrated water and vibrated things are given to you to eat. For example, liver, people should eat sugar, which is sugar cane sugar, and that is vibrated. Then the diabetes people have to eat salt, which is vibrated. Some things like that also help to expedite. So there are some few things like that, very simple and very cheap. Once I asked a lady that you bring 1 kilo of sugar, and she was surprised that she thought I was going to take from the sugar and you open a market of sugar. So you have to vibrate the sugar, and when you take the sugar home, you can eat it. That's it. It's very simple. We'll tell you all very, very simple methods. I would request you to keep the Sunday free. I will definitely make myself available for you, and I will tell you how to raise the Kundalini and how to give realization and how to heal people. But we are not healers here. We are realized souls.
Can you tell me what home did I do from the I had an accident.
What were you wearing? What are you in your neck? What is that?
She wants to know what wrong did she do that caused her?
No, she may not have anything any wrong, but I will tell you what is the matter, but in private. But I'll tell you what happens, how the accidents take place. Accident takes place because there are some spirits who are trying to disturb. They are there, the negative people are there. Not necessarily that you have done any wrong. There's a big fight going on between the divine and the negative. And they'll always try to harm a seeker. From the very childhood, a seeker is attacked. The better he is, the attack more. It's very common, I'm seeing. But I'm here to cure it. I know it happens. It's very bad, but they are doing it, and they do it all the time. They're just waiting. Even when you get your realization, when you go out, they'll catch you. And they put ideas into your head. They do all kinds of things. So this is one idea you should take out from your mind, that if there is any pain or any trouble, it is because of your wrong or any mistakes. It can be the negative forces which are acting on you, which are working it out. Even on the road, you will find one spot, you will always find an accident. But if you are a realized soul, if you even meet an accident, then you do not get into trouble, and nobody gets. If you are in the car, or in the bus, or even in the train. It is an experience of many people. You are always saved. This is the difference. Because all the angels look after you.
Why do negative forces want to harm people? I can't understand why they do that.
You better go and ask them.
Well, I would if I could, but I don't understand.
You see, they are sadists. They enjoy hurting others. They are sadists. They like to destroy. They are destroying forces which are at play. They are all trying to destroy us in many ways. We have to be conscious of them and understand. They are very subtle. and they're very attractive. You do not know. Now the destruction is not going to come from outside, it is going to come from within. One has to understand all these things through Sahaja Yoga. When you have light, you start seeing them, how they act and how they work it out.
How should we protect ourselves from that?
How should they protect themselves from this?
Yes, that is very important, and that's why I'm saying you must come where he's saying we'll teach you everything. So many things are to be taught, isn't it? How to protect, that's very important. Very important. You are to be protected, no doubt. Now, is it over? I think we have had enough of it. Let's have the Kundalini away, all right? Just you have to take out your shoes because you see Mother also helps us. This is start of living, we should say. This one is the start of living. This one is. But how many understand? Now, please put your hands towards me, just like this. Now, don't worry about
श्री माता जी, आज के ध्यान में आपने हमें निरानंद प्रदान कर हमें संतुलित किया, इसलिए हम आपके ऋणी हैं, आभारी हैं। Thank you, Shri Mataji, for blessing us with this meditative state and showering us with your divine vibrations. श्री माताजी को नतमस्तक होकर प्रणाम करेंगे और बंधन लेंगे. Let's bow down at Shri Mataji's lotus feet and take bandhan. Jai Shri Mataji.